Hello guys, welcome back to another Android session. Today I'm going to show you some basic views which you can use to create your project. First view will be the toggle button. So I made a new application here and I'm in the activity main.xml. Now here I have a text here called hello world. I'll give an ID for it. The ID will be txt, and the next thing I'll have a toggle button here. It's the first view I'm going to talk to you about. Toggle button, wrap content. And the next thing, it will have the text that says press to toggle, like this. Actually, we can't do that. Here the toggle button will say I'll give an ID for it. It will be toggle, and the next thing we'll have some constraints. Constraint top to top of as parent, and constraint left to left of as parent also, and constraint right to right of as parent as well. And the next thing, I have it under the text view. I say constraint top to bottom of as the ID toggle. That didn't work. Let's remove this parent. We remove this line and we'll have a constraint top to top of as parent, and here constraint top to bottom of as our toggle button. Actually that didn't work. We'll have things like this. The next thing, we'll try to provide a text for the toggle button. We'll say on actually you can't provide a text to it. Now let's create another thing, another view. We'll have a switch, wrap content, and the next thing, constraint top to bottom of as our toggle button, like this, and the constraint left to left of as parent, and the constraint right to right of as parent as well. And I'll give some margins. Margin top will be 100 sp, and we'll give this an ID. The ID will be switch. We can't give the ID switch, we say switch. And now let's create on clicks for the buttons. First one on click will be press switch. and I'll create it inside the main activity. And the second ones and the toggle buttons on click will be press toggle, and I'll create the method like this. Now let's call the toggle button final toggle button equals to find view by id r.id toggle. Then the next thing we'll say button dot set on check change listener. Here we'll have the on check change listener methods overridden, and here we'll check if b is there. Then if that's there, we'll have a toast that says on, and if the other way around, we have a toast that says off, like this. We'll copy this and paste it here, and we'll change this to switch. Okay, now let's run this and check the output. Actually, we'll take the text tree overload, and here we'll get the text view tv equals find view by id r.id.txt, and we say tv.setText on. We'll copy this and paste it here and say off. We'll do the same things for the toggle button also. We'll copy and paste things here and here and call this on. Now let's run this. Now let's press on here, and we can see that the text changes. We switch on and switch off, switch on. So this is how these views work inside our application. Okay, now let's have a floating action button as well. We say floating action button, and it will be web content and web content, and the next thing it will have the text that says we can't provide a text to it. We'll give it an ID of floating, and the next thing we'll position it right under the hello world text. We'll have some constraint left to left of as parent, constraint right to right of as parent as well, and constraint top to bottom of as our text, like this. And we'll give this a margin top as 40 sp. Okay, now let's provide a on click for this. We say floating. Let's make the method, and here we'll have a floating action button, fv equals to find view by id r dot id dot floating. We save things here, and here we say we'll save things, and here we'll call this floating act, and we'll have it here like this. And after that we say fe dot set on click listener, and we'll have a new view dot on click listener, and inside it we'll have a toast that says write, and we'll have our text view also. We'll copy the text view from here and paste it here, and we say tv.setText, and provide the value. We say float. Okay, now let's run this. Well, it's running now, and we get our activity. Here we'll press on the floating action button, and it says float and write, like that. Okay, let's have another view. This time we'll have a snack bar. To have a snack bar, we have to change the layout of the XML file to coordinate the layout. That's how we make because if the coordinator layout is there, we can scroll and touch and do stuff with the screen. For that we have to have the coordinator layout. Here we'll change this to coordinator layout, and here also we'll have a constraint layout, like this, and we'll cut this from here and paste it here, like this. Now everything's positioned well, and the next thing we'll have another button here, button wrap content, and wrap content, and it will say, text will say open snack bar. We'll be making a snack bar, and we'll have some constraint left to left of as parent, constraint right to right of as parent also, and we'll have constraint top to bottom of as floating action, and we'll give this margin top as 40 sp. Now let's have a on click for this. It will say open snack. We'll make the method inside our activity, and here we try to call the coordinate layout. Actually we have to give an ID for the coordinate layout as well. We say ID coordinate and save this, and in the open snack method we say coordinate layout C equals find view by ID r dot id dot coordinator. We call this coordinator 1 and save this. Here we say r dot id dot coordinator 1 like this, and now we'll have a snack bar equals to snack bar dot make, and we'll pass the coordinate layout to it, and the next thing we'll have a string that says this view up, and we'll have snack bar dot length short, and the next thing we'll have a view dot on click listener, and inside this we'll say new view dot on click listener equals to new view dot on click listener, and here we'll have our text view. We'll copy the text view from here and paste it here, and the next thing the set text will be empty, and after that we'll have snack bar dot set action. We'll provide action for our text snack bar. It will be undo, and we'll call the listener for this. Okay, and the next thing snack bar dot set action text color will be get color, and we'll have r dot color dot black like this, and we say snack bar dot show to show the snack bar. To remove this error we'll have to surround with version SDK in. Okay, now let's check the snack bar inside our phone. Let's press on open snack bar, and we get this view up. The snack bar comes and goes away. So this is the snack bar. So till here we have made new 4 views we didn't know before. We have made the toggle button, the switch, the floating action button, and the snack bar. So That's it for today's lesson, and I've taught you about some views in Android. I'll come up with another lesson the next day. Until then, bye guys.